Mr. Chalk and Mr. Cheese. Matt Newey and Hale. Matt Newey out of the middle, first kick of the game, long inside the forward 50. Kennedy worked off the line of the ball. Daly arriving quickly, knocks it across the line. And they're behind. So one kick and a score. Hawthorn quickly come out. Jordan Lewis marks in the back pocket. Down the boundary is Hodge, longer still. Gunston back in the team. Draws a crowd, falls to Hodge, then bounced away from him. Fickle, down goes Marston, strong tackle. Burgoyne, the veteran of finals, rewriting the record book for the Hawks.
Early statement from Nat Nui, eh? Big clearance from the centre. Gets the tap again, another statement. Lacroix started off the centre wing. And Darling front spot, boundary throwing.
Interesting, they've gone with Lake on Darling. Now, we know Darling's a great athlete. There was conjecture whether he could do the job. Alistair Clarkson showing confidence in Lake.
So Mitchell there with Shuey at the moment. Let's see if there's a hard tag at some stage. Crowley famously did it a couple of years ago. Hale gets a second crack. He's gang tackled.
And it doesn't look like it's a hard tag, Bruce, but I think they'll have a real awareness around the stoppages. Yo, just tracking him a little bit there, making sure he doesn't have too much influence on this game. James Frawley on Kennedy up forward for West Coast too.
50-50, Shuey got a high tackle. He'll have a shot for goal, I reckon.
Probably a good decision by the umpire. Very lenient on the kick away now, umpires. Clearly, the noise is as such. They don't hear the free kick being paid. So, good decision by the umpire not to give a 50.
So much talked about taking your chances in this grand final. Converting set shots. What a start. What a start for the Eagles. It is so early, and remember that Josh Kennedy kicked the opening goal last year for Sydney. But Nat Nui, Shuey involved, and to take the set shot and to kick it sets the tone for the rest of the day, doesn't it? It can be contagious when you miss.
Big start by West Coast for Luke Shuey, and I don't mind this. West Coast players not being intimidated by Hawthorn, getting stuck into Jordan Lewis, who gave away the free kick. That's what they need to do. Not just wait for Hawthorn to do it. They need to get stuck in first.
Matt Newey, the run again, slapped away by McAvoy this time. Mitchell under pressure, kicks it down towards half forward. Shepherd peels off, comes up and takes the mark. Runners alongside. It settles. Terrific back half of the season. Drives it down towards half forward. Darling's the target with the judgment behind its Lake and now 50. There's no crowd noise there. Lake takes off up towards the wing. Norm Smith medalist looks inside the 50. Kick is long. Down towards Hale. Hale comes from the side, got hands to it, couldn't hang on. McGovern slaps away. Rough head. Ducks out of trouble. Brilliant. Rioli puts it through. How about that for a start?
$50-metre penalty, eh? Costly.
And Big Ruffy, this is his great strength. That's the first handball for the game. So clearly the players want to get the ball on their boot. Just so clever. He's a ground level player, Big Ruffy, for a tall man.
Well, Nat Nui ran into the umpire there, but still got the tap. Pritters, quick kick out of the centre. So a couple of clearances for West Coast early. Lake almost. Burgoyne tapped it back to Stratton. Good hands by Frawley, Burgoyne, Mitchell. And then Mitchell had it smothered. Good start by Lacroix. Hodge got it away. It was okay to Bruce and Shields. Not a good kick, and Hearn, who we know is a lethal kick, decides to go back to Ellis, who actually kicked the first goal for Hawthorn 3 years ago in the grand final against the Swans. Schofield back to Hearn.
You can see West Coast trying to control the footy here. They want to kick and mark and keep it off Hawthorn, but don't want them going too far backwards, I don't think, and just tempting that Hawthorn defensive unit to work up, keep it in their half of the ground. They've managed to get a boundary throw in now. I reckon West Coast have still got to take their chances to move the ball forward while they're controlling it.
Wellingham so good last week. Came through the interchange there on the lead, if you don't mind. McAvoy slaps it down. Lewis got it back. Birchall loops one. McAvoy in trouble. Side-footed towards the boundary. Was it out in the full? No.
And the Hawks have gone really tall inside forward 50, trying to expose the shorter Eagles defence. Hale, Roughhead, Shoalmakers and Gunston.
You're spot on, Richard. In fact, Ellis at the moment has got Ruffy, so there's a distinct size advantage for the Hawks in that forward half. Lacroix up the ground. Hawthorn with a spare down back. It's Gibson. Good tackle. Got it away. Giray worried out of it. Shuey. Still Shuey. Should have handballed. He had Cripps running to the goal square.
Yep. Spot on, Bruce. Need to just give that little handball there. Would have made a certainty of it.
Short to the pocket here, Smith.
Thank you.
What a pulsating start. End-to-end stuff. The speedster taking his time. Hugs the boundary with a kick on the lead. Schoenmakers, strong hands. So much speculation about him during the week. Deserved his spot. From left half back, punishing kick. Up towards half forward, up the top, Sinclair. Knocks it away from Hale, roving the pack to Opolo. Quick hands got it to Gunston. Gunston goes back. Smith is run a long way quickly. Beats one man, under pressure. Gets a kick long down towards full forward. McAvoy, the taller man. Out position, Sheed takes the mark.
Well, that's the difference right there. They got the ball out the back. You can see there, that was a fantastic mark by Schoenmakers. That'll be great for his confidence, but they got it to a one-on-one against Sheed. McAvoy pushing forward, and Richo talked about the height advantage. That was a terrific kick, and it got there quickly.
15 gone.
Started on the bench. Hale at the first bounce. The goal here. Hawthorn in front. Goals coming quite quickly. Attacks all the time at the moment. They're risking everything. There's the goal. Hawthorn lead.
I was going to say he hasn't missed a set shot, but he actually did in Perth against West Coast with an absolute shinner, wasn't it, which went out on the full. But it's been quite a handy goal kicker forward. And Duck, not only did he win the one-on-one, I reckon Hawthorn had 3-on-1 just about.
Yeah, they did. They outnumbered them. They had the numbers 20 metres in front of that contest, but they got it over the back.
From that Ryan Schoenmakers mark, what it allowed Hawthorn to do was look at that, 3 Hawthorn players onto Dom Sheed in their forward line. Hawthorn, they're getting out the back. West Coast have got to be careful. They can't let those Hawthorn players running forward influence the play. Good mark by McAvoy, good finish.
Hale beats Sinclair. Lewis terrific. Puopolo, Smith, Hawthorn settling beautifully now. Smith to the pocket. Mark taken by McGovern. The plasticine man, eh? What a crazy year he's had, McGovern. Came from a long way back a couple of years ago, didn't he? Overweight. Hill. Important that he gets touches early. Gaff.
First touch for Gaff.
Measures the kick. Shuey. He's had some good moments. Probably should have given the last one off. Gives that one off. Creates something here. Wellingham. Cute kick. Finds Cripps. It's been good against Hawthorn this year, Cripps. He's kicked 4 goals in the 2 games. Goes wide. It was a bit sloppy. Marston waited. Was that out of play? It was. So just a bit slower for Mark than Marston, the boundary throw-in. He's had a quiet comeback. He's had the injury problems we know, and a suspension late. Didn't do a lot last week. Was red-vested.
Constant roar at the MCG at the moment. Tossed in, Hale and Sinclair. Sinclair perhaps. Sheet over the football. Heard the voice. Goes to his captain, Hearn. Lobs one down towards full forward. Going back. Oh, wonderful courage. Burgoyne takes the mark. Stellar. The big bodies were waiting, and Burgoyne, oblivious to all of that, just took off. There's Mitchell out of the back pocket, up towards the wing. Wellingham ghosting across in front of the pack. 27 possessions last week. Told to play on. Driving kick inside the forward 50. Gibson committed to the pack, knocked it away. Taken by Darling. Fancies himself. Shouldn't have. Floats towards the opposite pocket. Wonderful mark. Smith lays on immediately. Gunston's away. Chooses the short option. Now he's a left-footer, showing makers. Running for into that position is Hodge. Hodge presenting. Out towards left half forward. Well, kicked it into the man on the mark. McGovern tracks it back. Confronted by Hodge. Made an error. Down goes Hodge. Down went Smith. Coming through is Wellingham. Wonderful stuff. Got a hand pass away to Cripps to Yo.
Magnificent by Wellingham. Yo's kick. Good mark taken by Hill. And then Hill quickly on the cra. Not quite well played. Burgoyne again. Burgoyne 31st final, 6th grand final. How good was Wellingham at half-back?
Oh, this is some of the most sensational footy you would see. The ball is whizzing up and down the MCG, and as you said, hard and tough by Wellingham on Luke Hodge.
Lindy,
it's all going on.
He hodged you.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Smith's having an impact.
He has. Back. Gibson, all these lefties that we know so well. And another one wide. Sean Makers has settled brilliantly. I ran into Maurice Rioli's widow today, Robin, on my way to breakfast, and we had a bit of a chat about Cyril.
Well, just that moment there, Bruce. Sorry to jump in, but Jamie Cripps has got to nail those tackles. You can't have broken tackles in grand finals. It just opened it up completely for Hawthorn, and what better man to have the ball in the hands of than Cyril Rioli.
Kicked 3 last week. First time he's kicked more than 2 in any final. Grand final specialist, isn't he? Rioli's got his second, and Hawthorn are now settling beautifully. Well, the hammies are right. He's had the conditioning this year. First time he's kicked 40 goals in a season. All Australian for the second time. Rioli's already won a Norm Smith. Right now he might be in front.
Well, it's been a different build-up for Cyril this year for this grand final. He's starting, and what a start it is, and that's a reaction. 2 goals in the first quarter. He's pumped.
Hawks lead it by 9 points. Great bounce. Naitanui wins it down. Critis on the way down. Shuey been active. Floats this one towards the 50. Oh, what a mark! Darling this time. That's the part of the ground where some wonderful marking has taken place.
Well, who said contested marking has gone out of the game? It has been on display today, and that is as good as you'll see. Great body use by Jack Darling on Ben Stratton, and held on to it.
15 gone.
See, it's stating the obvious to say this is a huge kick, but this is massive.
Started with Burgoyne. Isaac Smith followed up. Darling a wonderful mark, but the kick not the equal of the mark. He tugs it left, and they trail by 8 points. Scoring shots to 3.
Spoke about making the most of your opportunities. Now 1-4.
13 minutes in. 5 scoring shots to 3. What do you make of it so far?
Oh, you just have to make the most of your opportunities. You have to nail those shots, because we know Hawthorn, it is about scoreboard pressure.
It's been an okay start by West Coast. I think they've withstood it a little bit. The scoreboard is the worry, though. If they can't kick another goal and settle those nerves more, Hawthorn manage 1 or 2 more, could get out of hand.
It's been a sensational start to the game. Naitanui, he has! Oh. It was touched on the way through by that man, the oldest man out there, the 3rd oldest Hawk to play in a grand final, and a lot of conjecture about whether he'd be playing today.
And he's had a good start, Bruce.
Yep. Here's Hill on the other side. Got it from Gibson. Rioli. Already kicked 2 goals. Swings it out wide. 2 to choose from. Lewis.
You can't let them get those marks like Rioli got there at centre-half back. They got through last time from that position.
Take something off the kick. Coming up was Bruce, not in time. Sensing the danger. Butler got across. Wonderful effort by Lake just moments ago. Big body to contend with. Got a hand to it. That was enough. Coming through is Frawley. Was it Stratton? The ball comes across towards Shields. Frawley it was. Butters up again. Drives it down towards half forward. The mark is taken by Bruce.
Kicking efficiency so important here. So Bruce to the pocket. Oh, huge fly, Rioli. It's an inspired start. So we talked about his uncle famously winning the Norm Smith in a losing team in '82, and Cyril here with a couple of first-quarter goals and other efforts like that. West Coast just 7 points down, but they got to be careful. Hutchings hooks it back. Doesn't quite get it as far as he wanted, but in the end it was helped on its way and over the line. Hot day, arguably going to be the hottest ever. 30.7 is the hottest grand final in history in 1987. You've got to go back to 1944 before that. So against that, Nui Hale's free.
It was there, quickly, across to Mitchell, to Burgoyne. Dangerous, Rioli again. Rioli is 40 metres out. Distance won't be a problem. He's shooting at his third. Adam Simpson, pensive.
Well, that's why Burgoyne is just so good, such a good deliverer of the footy. He only had him half a metre, Cyril, but the kick was so good, there's nothing Hearn could do about it.
Well, he's a tinderbox, and right now he's on fire. What a start. Single-handedly, he's been the difference. Kick is on the way, not this time. It's out of bounds on the full.
And that's a let-off for the Eagles, because they've missed a couple of chances. Had twice as many scoring shots, the Eagles. Remember the Dockers 2 years ago in that opening term? Nat Nui against a couple. Roughhead, who created the opening goal for the Hawks. Gibson, Giray, Birchall, they work it back. Stress-free footy for the moment. Get it back to Frawley. The only Hawk playing today in his first grand final. Hodge. A grand final champion, Hodge. One of three to win the Norm Smith twice. Clever kick to his great mate in Lewis. A father this week. Good things happened to Lewis in September and October. So he's going to set it up. Wide, McGovern unopposed.
That's his great strength, McGovern. Sagging off. Intercept mark.
Back to Xavier Ellis.
They're finding it hard to move it from here, West Coast. They're going to get a 50, though. That will help. Hawthorn had them hemmed in really well. The 50 will just relieve a little bit of that pressure.
So Ellis comes up to the line of the 50 in midfield. Just waiting for the ball to come back, and while this is taking place, Hawthorn able to pick up around the ground despite conceding a 50. Wasn't a great 50 either. Here's Ellis. Goes to right half back in Wellingham. Just for the moment, the steam and the run out of the West Coast Eagles as they try and build from the back. Just jabs it in short. Butler. Still pretty warm in Melbourne. Bright and sunny for the moment at least. Bit of light cloud around close to the boundary line. Kennedy lays it off. Shuey runs that boundary, kicks it down towards the pocket. Awkward kick. Hill came hard, got hands to it, recovers, tracks it towards the boundary, and in trying to improvise, puts it out of bounds on the full.
Just a little nervy with ball in hand, I reckon, West Coast at the moment, aren't they? Even making that selection of where to go with the ball.
Once Josh Kennedy took that mark, though, from the long kick, it was smart to play on and to move it quickly from there. I would have loved Josh Hill just to let that one run over the boundary line. Set up, get a boundary throw in, lock it in your 50 for a little while. Instead, just gave it straight back to Hawthorn.
So Gunston in the back half, as we so often see him. Schofield has a second crack. Ball comes loose to Bruce, to Hodge. Clever kick actually gives Rioli half a chance. He engaged early, Rioli. Wellingham and Rioli. Hill, good tackle on him and a boundary throw in. Wellingham, of course, with those grand finals with Collingwood. Premiership player along with Ellis and Butler, the three that have won the flag in the Eagles team today.
Hale works in front, wins the tap too. Prittis goes after it. Hacked out of there, inside the forward 50 by Shields. Eagles bring it back out. Here's Darling. Plenty of runners in the midfield, but he went behind them. Kicked it straight to Smith. Smith to space. Roughhead takes off. Won't get to it on the full. Lets it bounce. Jumped in the air. Hit the ground kicking. Pulls it back. Deep in the pocket. Bruce claiming a mark. Or did he go out of bounds? Play on was the call. Diving in there was Hearn. In real trouble down there, that defence at the moment. Wellingham flicks it across to Shepherd. Couldn't find a way through. Got it to Butler. He scrambles a kick. Only about 30 metres out. Birchall gets it from Mitchell and punishes them. Indecision cost the West Coast Eagles.
Played 21 finals, Birchall. This is the first time he's kicked a goal in any final.
Well, it was the pressure that led to that Birchall goal. Just desperate to keep the ball in there, Hawthorn. Sam Mitchell clever with his hands. He's a beautiful kick of the ball, Grant Birchall. They're taking their chances, the Hawks. The Eagles aren't.
Jack Darling's kicker. Puopolo, Mitchell getting busy. This is what Hawthorn did to Sydney last year. Late in the first quarter. That may be a chance for a turnover here. Sheet taken down, free kick.
You don't often see that. Luke Hodge giving a handball that misses a target by that much. That led to the sheet free.
Can he find a target here, or can somebody take him up? It's a good kick, but he's just going to pop it up to full forward. Gibson, well, I think he almost marked it, but Darling puts the tackle on. They keep it in West Coast. Gibson will think that he's marked that.
West Coast need the goal now, not just for the scoreboard, just to settle their nerves down right now. They're a bit apprehensive. They're worried about what that scoreboard is saying right now.
Burgoyne to Hodge.
High ball outside the 50. Ellis from behind thumped it down. Bruised. Too slick for even Rioli. He slaps it wide though. Wonderful recovery, but Shepherd had other ideas. Tries to crash his way through. No way through there. Hearn got it into the path of Marston. Now it's 2-on-1. Quickly, that changes though. Puopolo. Sinclair battles on after the ball. Puopolo falls on top of him. And we get a ball up just inside the boundary. Giray, the last hawk up. And Sinclair had a couple of chances, at least half chances.
McAvoy engages him early. Gaff on the right side for him. Gets it to about 50. Lake underneath it. Frawley. Mitchell roving it. And then keeping the ball in, Ellis, the old hawk, takes the mark.
Bruce, you just mentioned Gaff kicking the ball then. He's only had 2 disposals. Marston only had the 1, so they're not getting anything from their outside runners at the moment, the Eagles.
Shepherd's kick was a bit wobbly. And now Schofield forced to go pressure. This is important. They don't cough this up, the Eagles. Hawthorn mounting a real surge here. Shuey gets a bad bounce. Props and tops. Did well. Just fended off Stratton. That's good play by Shuey. Kept his composure. And here's Marston, who Richo talked about a moment ago.
Yeah, you said the word composure then, Bruce. That is key to this for West Coast. They have to hold their nerve the last 4 minutes here. They want to generate another goal, of course, but they cannot cough up one to Hawthorn.
Butler got it from Lacroix, kicks it up towards half forward like a soccer goalkeeper. Gibson, two-fisted, got it away. Hodge on the outer side, kicks towards the pocket. Did it bounce in? Yes, it did. Still a live ball. Schofield and Rioli go at it. The boundary throw in.
Yeah, you're spot on, Leggy. That's exact. Look at the spoil from Gibson. Just so good at that, but you're so right. They have to have the composure, but at the same time move forward. They do need a goal before quarter time.
So McAvoy wins that tap.
Play on, Dutch in, play on.
Heard the umpire.
Right. Let him up, please. Thanks. Hit the 1 metre. Thanks, Luke. Straight back.
Sinclair doing a fair bit of the ruck work in the opening term.
Play on.
Haven't seen a lot of Pritis early, have we?
No, just looking at these numbers, only the 2 disposals so far.
So
Brian Lake there, just playing as that deepest defender, making sure they keep it intact and don't let West Coast get over the back of them.
So against Sean Makers a throw.
And Richo's already mentioned Marston, 3 disposals, Gaff 2. You throw in Sheed 2 and Prittis 2. Their real midfield core hasn't really got their hands on the ball yet, so they need to lift their rating and their work rate in the middle.
So Marston trying to get it as far as he can and as wide as he can. Kennedy worked over cleverly.
They can't allow that. That's that 2-on-1 that they're just so good at, the Hawks.
Late, a spiral. Attempted spiral anyway. Falls like space junk down towards half forward. Gaff, a little 1-2 with Butler. Ample time for Gaff now. Normally deadly with his feet. Just made Shepherd stretches at left half back. Gunston goes after him. Good chase. Affected the kick over the head of Shuey. Gibson at the feet of Roughhead. Knew where the help was. Burgoyne, here's danger. Long towards the pocket. Going back is Schoenmakers. Step for step. Schofield did brilliantly. Just reaching across his man and got it with a fist out of bounds.
Not a great kick from Burgoyne in the end, was it? Because he just kept floating towards the line.
It's not often he misses a target when he's got that much time and space.
Top of the square would have been dangerous there. Prittis winning that one. Gaff just starting to get a little bit of the ball now, isn't he? Ruffy just overran it. Shuey's been lively. Now Prittis working on that left foot. Again, Hawthorn with numbers. Nui made a good effort. Lake and Frawley really combining superbly in the opening term. Lewis had to fetch it. He did it comfortably enough. Gets it to Shields. Good looking kick. Gunston, Prittis was good. Gaff, Butler. And Butler's kick. He's coughed it up. Oh no, Lake's missed the mark. Lacroix on the up. Important ball this one. Could Cripps worry them out of it? He doesn't. Gee, that was well done by Birchall.
Terrific stuff. Little 1-2. Gibson across to Bruce. And now it's with Frawley. Frawley down towards the 50. Butler will fly from the side. There's a free kick going to Xavier Ellis.
Hawthorn are just too well organised down back at the moment. Lake, Birchall, James Frawley, all of these players just setting up perfectly. Again, Hawthorn got the outnumber with the long kick down the line.
More ball for Gaff, though, off hands, and it rolls out of bounds. They need more from their small forwards, in particular, the West Coast Eagles. Hill has not done very much, and neither is Cripps. They've got to get involved, at least putting pressure on down there.
And at the other end, Rioli's kicked a couple, hasn't he?
Yeah.
McAvoy worked to the front. Nui probably won it. Prittis. Well done, Nui. Bulldozed Gibson out of the way in the end. Haven't really called Yo's name as yet. He got a bad bounce. Terrific tackle, Prittis on Smith, ball up.
It's a good point you make, Lingy. They're making them kick down the line. The Eagles have missed a couple of targets going back through the middle, so they've lost their nerve a little bit. Got to make sure they still go for that kick. Just have to execute the skill correctly.
They're so tentative, I think, and frightened they'll create a turnover by missing their target. Hawthorn winning that stoppage. Ball not out cleanly, though. West Coast, Hutchings. Shields. Lacroix worried out of it. Well done, Giray. That's a big win against Lacroix. To Hill. Maybe a late goal for the Hawks. To Hale. To Ruffy. Now Ruffy's got Cyril.
And that's how you can expose the web.
Cyril's got Hill. And Hill's going to kick their fifth. Well, Giray beating Lacroix in a one-on-one at half-back created all of that. They find themselves where Sydney were this time last year. Well, this is it's not good.
This was a huge contest here. Giray and Lacroix, the fumble from Lacroix, the strength from Giray, just the composure then, and Cyril Rioli in the forward line has been brilliant this first quarter. Got the ball over to Hill. Hawthorn playing brilliant football. This one will be recalled, but he did limp off the ground a little bit there, Hill, and just got the doctors checking him out. That's a concern. They need his run today.
Suckling is the sub. Nat Nui knocked it forward. Burgoyne in the opposite direction. Prittis under pressure. Incorrect disposal. Bruce ran him down. The appetite, certainly, and the energy with Hawthorn. That way by Mitchell. Smith, who started very well just forward of the wing, kicks towards the pocket. Not a good kick. Not the spot for it. It's knocked across the boundary. Puopolo and Butler. Butler in the shadows, as are his teammates.
Nui. Well done, Bruce, to Smith, and Bruce couldn't quite keep it in. So 19-point margin. This is what Hawthorn led Sydney by in 2012 when the Swans got over them. They were 2 goals in front of Freo 2 years ago, and they were 20 points in front of Sydney last year. So for the 4th consecutive grand final, they've made a good start. There's a long way to go, but Hawthorn off the back of some great footy from their leaders. A couple of goals to Rioli. They did 30-11 in the grand final at quarter time.
One Direction is here. It's the show that has all the stars. Catch X Factor Monday, 7:30.
Aren't they? The bigger the game, out they come with attitude. Start the second term. Nui goes up high. Rioli has kicked a couple. Paddles it down towards half forward. Still he goes. Met in the opposite direction by Butler. He stood firm. Gaff falling to ground. Shuey to Pritis. Hurried kick. Lacroix came at the pack, but it's juggled in front by Burgoyne. Gee, he's been good.
Sure has. Dennis goes wide. Good kick. Showmakers has settled. Here is Hill running strongly. That's a great sign. Misses the target though. He had Puopolo. Gaff under pressure. Gets it back to Shepherd. Well, that kick going straight to a cluster of Hawks. Mark taken by Jerome. How good was he last week in the prelim? Out wide to Smith, who started brilliantly as well. To Birchall. To Rioli. All stars in that opening term. Rioli with a couple of first quarter goals. Now he's hugging the pocket here, wanting Hodge to win a one-on-one against Schofield. Puopolo got a high tackle, back to Hodge. That's a goal, I think. It is. Hodge has done it from nowhere. We shouldn't be surprised, should we? He is, well, it is October, but he is Mr. September. It was never going to miss, was it?
Left foot, check side from 40 out.
I'll give him the Norm Smith now, Duck.
Well, Cyril had confidence in him, didn't he? He went to him on the one-on-one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Luke Hodge, what a champion he is. Off one step from the boundary, the banana, and what a reaction that is in front of the Hawthorn fans. That is huge.
No one has got 3 Norm Smiths. Yo, been quiet. Hutchings kicks it down towards half forward. Hodge, great start today. Leading by example. Burgoyne following him very closely. Birchall across half back. Here he is again.
They've got massive issues at ground level inside their 50. The Eagles haven't had an uncontested possession in their forward 50. The Hawks are just running it out at will here.
And Richo, they're just completely calm now down there. They're organising. They know that they're not under that much threat.
Now they're getting through like this, Slingy. Yep.
Shields gets it from Hill, centering ball. Now the left footer takes the mark. That's Lewis. 60 metres out from goal. Gunston comes. No one really coming with him. Runs a long way though. Now he'll get it, or will he? Goes over his head. Puopolo coming up into that vacuum behind Gunston. Has marked about 5 metres in from the boundary, and this is not beyond the little fellow.
Well, just so good at hitting their targets, pinpointing. We know that the Eagles like to zone and guard space.
Steps inside the boundary. Not sure about that kick. Wanders across the front of goal. Bruce momentarily had the run of it. The opposite direction. Mitchell, McAvoy, Gunston misses to the near side.
It's just one of the great goals, isn't it? One of the great grand final goals.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
So the captain goes Longhorn, gets it almost to that centre square. Sinclair, it didn't stick. Hutchings can't get through.
Who's going up? Don't shepherd in there.
Pritis, handball cut off. Free kick.
High contact. Picking it up. Hold there.
Lewis down and dirty as he does so well. And a great grand final last year, great season. Giray. Just so much time here. Kicks to the pocket. Shepherd overran it, but a boundary throw.
And because these Hawthorn defenders now don't feel like they're under pressure and the ball's not living down there, they've got the confidence to run off, set up from behind, use that uncontested footy like you said, Duck, and they're kicking it over 70%, Hawthorn.
Roughhead uses his body, clean possession, then sprays it to the opposite pocket. Schofield goes back, gathers the bouncing ball. No one really up ahead though, works a little 1-2. Butler gave it back to him. Another mark is taken by Cripps. Well done, he ran hard. He presents at left half back.
Lake's back. We've got nowhere to go down the line at the moment.
Just dead ends confronting the Eagles. High ball. Sinclair over the top. LeCras, who's been quiet, knocked it down. Sinclair hand passes it forward. Yo runs it around that other side wing. Over the top. Gaff, normally good by foot. This is no exception. And the Coleman medalist gets on the end of it.
Oh, you talk about making... I was going to go short. Captain. Well, we talk about captain's goals. We saw Luke Hodge kick an absolute beauty a couple of minutes ago. He just has to kick this goal. Has to give his team confidence.
And you go back to that game against Adelaide for Hawthorn. Luke Hodge, the first goal from about this spot. The captain's goal, we said at the time. Well, West Coast need one now from their skipper, and it's hit the post.
Oh. Struck it well, didn't he? Just held the line. Frawley. So Kennedy quiet early. I mean, he's probably was in range a moment ago, but he did the right thing. Well done, Roughhead. Really well done. Mitchell. Still with Mitchell. Now he asks Schoenmakers and he gets the bounce, Schoenmakers. And then Schoenmakers to a vacant forward line. Rioli waiting, over the top. Gunston, he won't miss. It's pretty easy right now. Well, it's a crisis point, isn't it?
It is.
You've got to a point where there's no wriggle room. Next goal is everything.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a season of toil in the next couple of minutes.
Well, again, Hawthorn just opening up the ground. Cyril Rioli getting out the back. Jack Gunston getting out the back. Fantastic finish by Gunston. It was a crucial contest, one on the wing. Jared Roughhead won the ball, fed it out. They are just dominating all over the ground at the moment, the Hawks.
Rucks go at it. Shuey, Sinclair didn't get fist to ball. Umpire lets them play on. Off the ground by Mitchell, out wide, taken by Hill. Back to Mitchell, lays it off. Giray so good last week, misses the target this time. Hearn, who hit the post moments ago, dragged off the footy, swooping on it. He's lively as Smith goes to Hill. Short one to Gibson. Plenty of time to go back inside the defensive 50. Now they've got 2-on-1 to the outer side, but he decides he can't get the trip and comes to Frawley. So the MCG is a big ground. It's proving too big at the moment. The West Coast Eagles. Hearn does very well. Got to a contest and thumped it away from Smith and put it out of bounds.
It's just that much wider than Domain Stadium, so it's hard. If you're guarding space, it's a lot wider. There's more holes, easier to get through for Hawthorn.
36 minutes since the Shuey goal, so West Coast in a critical position here. Burgoyne, Birchall got it from Gibson. Can't lay a tackle, can they, the Eagles? Lake. Yo was the flyer, but now Wellingham. Hot handball by Sinclair. Well done, Sheed. Sinclair.
Oh, look at that pressure, Bruce.
Yeah, and that's good pressure that time from the Eagles. And now Hearn gets involved. That was Cripps on Mitchell.
When Wellingham picked up that footy then, West Coast were out. There's Billy Hartung. Well, he's enjoying a nice cold beverage there, Bruce. Just watching his team put on an absolute display at the moment. Their pressure has been outstanding.
Team to throw against Shuey.
Might have been a little bit harsh.
Scoop or tap, but the scoop called, so...
Push out!
Roughhead has been excellent.
Umpire Rosebery in perfect position to see it. Kick goes down towards half forward then. Gunston outmanoeuvred. Puopolo, though, clever, knocks it to his own advantage. Releases Bruce, who tries to pull it back towards the middle. Why not? Rioli is lurking. He finished up on the deck, though. McGovern kept his balance. Hutchings comes away. Nothing down the ground. He's run down by Rioli. His hands were quick enough, or were they? Heard the umpire explaining it beautifully. Watch it again. Well, he said the ball popped up, then you hit it. Bruce, meantime, hits it back to Gunston, and Gunston has got another one, his second.
It's been amazing, Rioli, hasn't he? I mean, Rioli's effort in this first quarter and a half has been fantastic.
He's been the most influential player on the ground.
For sure.
Oh, this is why Hawthorn and everyone loves Cyril Rioli. It's not what he does with the footy, it's what he does without it. And that chase, I mean, that's just superb. He's been the most influential player on the ground.
And Hawthorn just dominating with that possession. 34 kicks to 8 so far this quarter. 15 marks to 3. Just total domination across the field. And it's, as you said, Duck, from efforts like that defensively as well, they're creating the turnovers and then they're just slicing through them.
Gee, they've lost their way, the Eagles. Hawthorn at their magnificent best. Hale was the third man up. Schoenmaker's bruised. Burgoyne's got the distance, but he hasn't got the accuracy.
I reckon Rioli almost needs a direct match-up now defensively. He's just finding space far too easily inside 50. I know the Eagles haven't done it all year, but he's loving it not having anyone standing next to him.
And Richo, when the ball's coming down that quick too, it means that he can find space, that he can give dummy leads and he can get out the back. He needs pressure on, or West Coast need pressure on the ball carrier if they're going to try and contain somebody like Rioli.
So Shepherd's kick cut off by Frawley. And then Frawley back to full forward. Hale, Burgoyne, and that ball out in a boundary throw-in. So Hawthorn, they are a ruthless team, we know that. And it's going to be such a long way back now for the Eagles.
Just basking in the sunshine and the scoreboard. Those Hawks fans. In front, Hale directs it down. Flying past was Hodge, didn't take it with him. Burrows in again, though. Wonderful goal to start this term. Deep in the left full forward pocket. Hale told to move on. Nothing to see here. Plenty to see here at the MCG. Gaps kick bounces to Birchall, and Birchall measures the kick inside. Too much carry, though, for Bruce, who sustained his run too long. Butler, little 1-2 with Schofield, but not the first time. Pulls it back towards the middle. Bounce beats Darling. He's been very quiet. Stratton across to Birchall. Gives it to Gibson. Getting directions from Puopolo. As a result, he gave it to Smith. Smith goes long. It's a searing kick, cutting through the afternoon. And another goal. Powerful kick. No hesitation in pulling the trigger.
A great team right now at the absolute top of its game. Isaac Smith from the boundary, outside 50, great goal. No influence in the qualifying final last time they played West Coast. He set himself for a big one, and he is having a monster.
And he's got some mates, hasn't he, Lingy? Yep. So 9 consecutive goals. In last year's grand final, they kicked 9 goals to 1 from halfway through the first to halfway through the second. History repeating itself. Ruffy almost on the end of it. Schoenmaker's done well. Cough that up. Hearn, great tackle, Roughhead.
Go through. Well battled.
Gee, they must love playing with Ruffy. Just how fierce a competitor he is. Great tackle on Hearn then.
Nat Nui just got over the top. Hale actually doing some roving.
Keep separated.
What a stunning effort this is from Hawthorn. McAvoy gets a second crack. Shields squeezes to Hodge on the wrong side. Oh, just missing.
This was similar to you guys in 2007. When you're in the zone, how good is this to play? Because right now, Hawthorn absolutely on top in all areas.
Absolutely. It's a great place to be, but you also just know from this Hawthorn team, they're not going to stop. They're not going to let up at any stage. They're going to give West Coast no chances if they can. West Coast might come a little bit, but this Hawthorn team, so ruthless they are, they're going to keep that foot down.
They can't lose their nerve here. Going back through the middle, that's exactly what they have to do. If they play safe, they're no chance, West Coast. They have to play brave footy, but hit targets.
Shuey's hand pass didn't. Shepherd gives it back to him, though. Now, Shepherd's got it from Shuey. Looks down towards half forward. That's better. Hill, very quiet. Takes the mark close to the boundary. Short. It bounces into the shins there of the leading Kennedy. Brilliant pickup by Hill, though, and he snaps. I think he's kicked a goal out of nothing. Wonderful.
Gee, another time, another place. I think people will be jumping around and saying, how good was that? They just need they need 7 more of them, don't they? It was a great finish. He's done that all year, hasn't he? 40 goals for the season for Hill now, 40 goals for the year.
Oh, this is a fantastic goal. Took it upon himself to kick the goal, but it was brave play. They made a mistake off half-back, but they came back through the corridor. They have to do that all game. They're 7 goals down. They've got to take chances.
So Hill, 40 goals this year now. Prittis, gee, had a chance to get rid of it and didn't. Gunston tackled.
They've contained Matty Prittis pretty well at those stoppages. He's been getting his hands on it, but 2 Hawthorn players getting to him, so he can't get that little feed off. They blocked it perfectly.
Nat Nui. Ball nearly out. Mitchell. Duray off a step again. He gets a fair distance too. Floats it forward. Well done, Schoenmakers. Playing like the defender that he was. Schofield. Great effort by Schoenmakers. Having a grand final moment. Isn't that good? Played in the losing one in 2012. Did the knee. Missed out last year. Probably last man picked, to be honest, today. And doing it well.
Inspirational stuff. If they needed inspiration, they arrived with it. Tossed in. Nat Nui reaches over the top. Sheed follows up. Hutchings under pressure close to the boundary. Stays in, then goes out. Bounced out. 56 plays 18. Midway through this second term. Grand final. One-way traffic at the moment. Nat Nui directs it down. Prittis couldn't control it. Reaching in his Hodge. Lacroix emerged with it. Gaff a little 1-2 with Hutchings. And then into daylight. Across it comes to Wellingham. Kicks inside the forward 50.
Terrible kick.
Yeah, behind Darling. And the mark taken easily down there in defence.
Just had to put that to space. Darling was running back deep inside 50.
Burgoyne to Duray.
And Jack Darling and Josh Kennedy, absolutely no influence on this game so far. Only the 3 marks between them. Hasn't been helped with that ball that you're talking about, Duck, but somehow they have to get those key players into the game.
So Duray, in the earlier games against West Coast, he was the sub in round 19 in the quali. Good hands, Puopolo. So deliberate. So going forward, deliberate. So Hearn to relieve a little bit of pressure, but the pressure's all on that scoreboard at the moment.
Hearn's high ball then. Missed at the back by Darling. Stratton sweeps a hand pass wide. Hill close to the boundary line. Using every metre of the MCG. Puopolo centering ball. Rioli surrounded. Got hands to it. Found it on the bounce. Almost got it out of there too. Over the top, Shields. Keeping it in front was Hodge. He was dragged down. Got a hand pass to Schoenmakers. Got the arms free. McAvoy, brilliant. Got it to Mitchell. Duray lines up. Going back. Oh, just touched across the line by Ellis.
Well, that forward line for Hawthorn, they just keep the ball alive, don't they? Little tap-ons, little handballs out. They're the best ground ball team in the competition inside their forward 50. Compare that to what we're seeing down the other end of the ground, and it's the Hawthorn defenders who are just cleaning everything up.
Nat Nui pushed. So the advantage, Hutchings. Gaff running hard, kicking to space. Not really to the advantage, though. Cripps was good. He engaged Frawley. Does he keep it in? He doesn't, in a boundary throw-in.
Eagles can't get the ball, Bruce. 187 to 128 possessions.
57 to 18 on that scoreboard. McAvoy probably got his fingers to it. Sinclair, well done by Hodge. Just cut off Shuey for a moment. Can West Coast jag one from here? Hill's goal broke the drought a moment ago. Sinclair trying to get through. Nowhere really to get through. Prittis at the coalface. But Hawthorn with numbers around the ball.
Who's going up?
Can Nat Nui create here by getting over the top? He doesn't really get a crack at it. Then tries to get it out. Darling and Hutchings, ball in that pocket. And I think it's going to be a boundary throw-in. So West Coast again with a stoppage. Left forward pocket.
39 points the margin. Not completely lost, but well on the way. Sinclair, who's battled manfully, put the body in. Shuey. Oh, down he goes. Treated him like a beanbag. We've got a ball up in the pocket. Shuey. Well, it's going to be a free kick, is it? Incorrect disposal. That's the least of his worries. Hodge has got the footy in the back pocket, then just lobs it across to Lewis. Quietly effective. Up towards centre half back. Wide. Rough head. Giray under no real pressure, almost as if the Eagles conceded that ball. Giray then to the next link in the chain. That's a good mark by Crawley against quality opposition who hit him in midair and the ball couldn't be jarred out.
Real credit to him. He had a disastrous game in that qualifying final. Bit of pressure on his spot in the team. He has responded with now 3 really good games, or 2.5 really good games.
And it started with Tex Walker here, didn't it? Yep. And then Matty Pavlich last week. Schofield juggling. This is where Poppy is so dangerous. And Schofield out on the fall there. Just a little bit of panic setting in. And that situation, Mitchell to full forward. Bruce.
Holding the man, West Coast. Holding the arm down.
Good call, I reckon, because Bruce engaged.
He did well, Gaff, to get back, playing on the wing, got back and covered Bruce.
He's worked hard, Gaff. He's up to 15. He's got busy. Sinclair, Darling. It's had an untidy first half, Darling. That kick now, Kennedy completely outnumbered. Difficult here for him. Chief Frawley played him well there, didn't he? And then Ruffy to back it up. Mark missed by Giray. Back to Shields. Back to Roughhead.
Out against the boundary line. Miscues with a kick. Awkward for McGovern. Lost it in the sun. Charging through his Hale in the opposite direction. Wellingham played it well. Sheed, Hutchings, Shuey. Sheed once more. On the break is Cripps, but the ball doesn't hit him on the full. As a result, he's stymied. Has to loft this one. Hearn is waiting. Thumped away brilliantly. Lake got there in time. An errant kick now. Gibson could punish them the other way. Rioli swings it across the ground. Chance for Hale. First things first, he's going to track the footy. Does that. Goes short. Well, showed a bit too much of it to the defender and thumped away down there by Shepherd.
Well, we just saw what skill execution does. In the end, they probably dodged one there a little bit, West Coast, but going into their forward line, that kick just didn't quite hit the target. Held up, Cripps had to sit it up again. Lake got over for the spoil. West Coast just have not hit their targets enough in this first half.
Gaff working really hard here, Gaff. Hutchings, late play, Burgoyne to Roughhead, and then Roughhead gives it a roost. Kicks the ball to the goal, square Rioli. Almost dangerous here. Shepherd, Hill, they try and fling it out. Marston off a boot. Sheed outnumbered. Hawthorn with all the numbers. The structure's just so good for them. Stratton, Gibson holding up through the hips. Stratton goes back to Frawley, and then Frawley getting it out wide. Birchall takes the mark.
setting up beautifully, aren't they? That quick kick out of defence for the Eagles. The Hawks always got numbers back. And that defence now, that is just chock full of confidence.
And they can do that because the pressure on the ball carrier is so immense.
Blood rule, Hawthorn. Let's hold it. Blood rule, Hawthorn. Thanks, Ben. Straight off.
Ben McAvoy it is coming off with the blood rule, but they've just got total belief now in the way they're setting up the Hawthorn defenders. They trust that their teammates are putting on pressure down the ground, and they're doing as they like.
Jack Dunstan just waiting. Back in the team for the big game. 53 goals for this season. A best of 6 against Carlton. We did 5 goals against the Eagles, round 13 of 2013. Not thinking about that now, though. He's thinking about a premiership medallion. Another one as he drives it long. It'll fall about 25 metres short. Roughhead was in front. Shepherd did well. Marston back to Shepherd. Up to midfield, taken by Kennedy. They've got some run here. Cripps to space. Lacroix tracks it back towards the pocket. Look at Smith, the speedster. Now, that ball was going out of bounds. Lacroix sensed it, but Smith probably sensed it too, but just went for a gallop.
They have to remain to be brave, the Eagles. They have to go for those kicks. They just need to hit their targets. They can hit a few more targets, start hitting the scoreboard. They're not out of this.
Sinclair had a second crack. It's been nearly 13 minutes since a Hawthorn goal duck, but
just some poor decisions and poor skill errors by the Eagles. Just tidy that up.
well, they've got to erode this lead before half-time. They need another goal or two, you would think. Over the top, Yo. Cripps. Butler can kick a goal from here. Straightens up and misses. Premiership player with the Eagles, the only Eagle today that's played for the club to win a premiership.
Gibson short along the boundary line. Good tackle by Butler. Slings Stratton over the line with the footy.
If West Coast can turn this little period where they've been able to have it turn into a bit of an arm wrestle into 1, preferably 2 goals. It is a hot day. Hawthorn have had the extra travel. Get into half-time and talk about what's going on out there. It's going to be a free kick to Hawthorn, though. Great attack on the ball by Jordan Lewis. They just have to find a way to give themselves some belief at half-time. Work through things a bit structurally. They cannot concede another goal, obviously, to Hawthorn. They've got to kick one themselves.
So these next minutes crucial, even though there's a whopping margin on that board. Shuey didn't get a good bounce. Gee, Mitchell should have got a free. Giray towards the line, boundary throw in. So the great ones for the Hawks have been good, haven't they? Roughhead 14, Lewis 14, Mitchell 17, Hodge 14. They've all done their bit. Rioli's been outstanding. Arguably the most influential player of them all. Lacroix has got a little bit on it. Mitchell.
Oh.
Hutchings took them on. He's gone.
Holding the ball.
Second time he's been caught holding the ball, Hutchings, in this quarter.
That's what you love from your ruckman too. David Hale following up, just nailing the tackle at ground level.
So Giray off that step. Puopolo lurking at the back. Marston searching. Quick kick from Sheed on the wrong side for him. Now, West Coast had the numbers in the front spot. Lacroix. Hutchings was loose there, couldn't quite get it to him. That was brilliant by Frawley, having some sort of a first half. And now Birchall.
Short, too short as it turns out. Gaff, big second term, big first half, coming up to his 17th possession. First 10 minutes were slow. He's really picked up the tempo, unlike most of his mates. Here's Darling. He's about 70 metres out. Goes short to Lacroix. Well, that was a kick in hope. Thumped away from behind by Frawley. Smith, no way through there. That was ambitious. Marston, a quick handball. Hutchings pulls it back. It's turning away from goal. In the opposite pocket, it's still in. They run after it, but eventually it goes out. We'll have a throw in.
Gee, Hutchings missed a chance there. He had a loose player forward for the handball and didn't take it.
Just those couple of times throughout this first half, it's been that. They need to just do the simple things well. Give that, make an easier chance for your teammate to have a shot at goal.
Naitanui, Priddis ridden into the ground. Marston, good tackle, Hodge. Wraps him up. And again, a good example of what you talked about earlier, Lingy, with Priddis. Just no time and space at all when he gets first hands.
And they're almost reading it that he is going to get first hands on it, but bang, they're just straight onto him.
Again, Naitanui, but again, it was Mitchell. Lewis held up by Priddis. Ellis worked his way well. Priddis can kick a goal here. And he's missed. Well, they just haven't taken their chances, have they, since Shuey's opening goal?
You're playing against the Hawthorn Football Club, who've won the last 2 premierships. You cannot kick 2 goals 8 in the first half of a grand final. They're too good for that. They need to somehow lock it in here. What have we got? 44 seconds remaining. Just kick a goal for their belief, for their confidence. It's going to be a terrible feeling going in at half-time, but just something they can grasp onto.
Can they rally? Tossed in. Hale, first hand to it. Roughhead in the grasp. Got a hand pass away. Birchall bowled over. Well done by Priddis to Gaff again. Sends a high ball inside the forward 50. And Yo, for his size, a wonderful aerialist. Haven't seen much of it today, but just floating in front of that pack. And takes a wonderful grab. That's his first mark of the day and only 3 possessions. That's skinny. Still. The clock is running. He may well kick this one after the siren. We're down to 3 seconds now. Yo, who's had a terrific season, needs a very good kick here. This could be a tonic. It's trying to work back. He's got it. Oh, that's big. There's a flicker of hope. At least they think so. The place is simmering. Hawthorn, a big lead a long way from home. Half-time in the grand final. They lead 9-3 to 3-8.
Stand by, Australia. Every Star Wars movie is clear to land. Starting tonight, 7 o'clock on 7, the home of Star Wars.
Start of the second half. Naitanui with the run. Up he goes, hooks it down. Hodge didn't have the football. No free kick. Priddis. Hutchings sends the ball down towards half forward. Tracking it back is Birchall. Bounces away from him. Some urgency now. Gets it just inside the line. Works nicely with Lewis. And that's a clever kick to Hodge, who looks across the ground. Giray coming back is Cripps. Gives a contest. Giray took a good mark and there's a man on. In fact, a couple on the wing. He goes out wide to the dangerous Roughhead, coming up for another possession. That is his 16th.
Kicked 5 goals in the grand final last year, 4 of them in the second half. Stratton pokes it down the line. Rioli and Shepherd. Priddis, good hands. Can he find a target? He does. Cripps. Inside to Gaff. Been prolific, Gaff. Good kick. Big chance early. Lacroix in good hands, you would think.
It's amazing when you execute your skills correctly. That's what they were able to do. Take the ball from one end to the other. See there, get back quickly. Hit your handball. Then Gaff clever enough to lower his eyes. Don't just bomb it away. Use the footy properly.
It's about where Yo was in terms of distance and angle, of course, at the other end. 67% of the time this year from a set shot is goal. This would give them 3 consecutive goals in the match, remarkably. No, not coming back. Or is it? No, it came a little late, but it's a behind. So 3-9 to 9-3. Same number of scoring shots.
One thing to just take note of is the Eagles have actually had 18 less interchanges, so if they can just push here and get a couple of goals, you never know, that might be a factor later on.
Burgoyne in his 6th grand final, close to the boundary line. I think that was a mark. It was.
Gee, that's a good grab, Dan. That is a strong pair of hands from Liam Shields, and their contested marking today has been a real highlight, the Hawks.
Lewis gets it from Shields, who took that mark. Towards the wing, ill-directed. Out of bounds on the full, didn't matter. Butler grabbed it on the full, didn't juggle it. So Butler, docked by injury during his career, premiership player, sends the high one back towards half forward. Nat Nui has been quiet. Up he goes, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Prittis wriggles free. This is a very high kick. Still in play. Hutchings through his fingertips, rolls out the back. Mitchell, brilliant pickup. Hodge sold into trouble. Bearing down and doing pretty well there was Gaff. Spills to Mitchell, prods it to midfield. Hale, too easy. Stepped around Marston, comes out wide. Rioli, nothing is deep. He'll hang on now. Rioli wants some movement, decides to go short. Schoenmakers.
And then Schoenmakers had it smothered, may get a second crack. Asks a lot of Rioli. Rioli brilliantly done to Gibson, to Burgoyne, shrugs them off, handballs a little wide for Bruce. Shepherd, well done, to Cripps. Cripps goes wide. Important ball, this one. Hill's been quiet. He kicked a miraculous goal. Kept his feet, importantly. Keeps the ball in, down the line. Yo waits for the bounce. Frawley and Yo, they backtrack. Frawley with the bigger body. Yo rides him over the line, boundary throw-in. That was a bit of a win for West Coast.
Oh, big win. Just weren't able to hit their targets, the Hawks. Oh, there was a couple of 50-50 balls there. They had to win that.
Margin 30 points, still winnable for the West Coast Eagles. Showing better signs late in the previous term, now in this one. Hodge to Burgoyne, kicks it down towards half forward. Good defensive mark, McGovern. Hit the ground running to Butler. Storming across the ground, on the angle is Hearn, the captain. Gets away, looks inside the forward 50. Now can Darling take a mark? Yes, he can. There is a flicker.
Well, it's that type of play that they missed in the first half, wasn't it? Clean. Got it to their captain, who we know is a beautiful user of the footy, and when he hits the ball, it gets there hard and low. That gave Darling a chance to run and jump at it. That was a beautiful kick.
It was a perfect kick, wasn't it? Just got it to his advantage. He must kick this. Really poor first half from Jack Darling. He can get his team rolling, though, if he goes back and slots it.
Kick is on the way, and it's good.
Well, you picked him out, Lingy, at half-time. First bloke you spoke about. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the match.
Yeah, they will start to believe. It was 56-12 at one stage. They've pegged it back. So they've got a glimmer of hope now.
44 points was the big margin. Back to 24. Nat Nui gets over the top. Hill runs into a couple and then cleverly actually gets the ball into that forward 50. Lake.
Stay out.
Just so strong in the body. Just ragdolled Sinclair. Mitchell. Giray. Puopolo. First time you feel like Hawthorn's been challenged for a long time in this match. And Burgoyne runs it over.
It's another 50-50 win there. Wasn't paid. Get that out of bounds, they can start again.
And just for the first time today, you're just starting to hear the Eagles crowd find some voice down here at ground level.
So Sinclair and McAvoy. Hodge. Marston, Mitchell. Mitchell so good.
Contact below the knee.
Okay, so against Mitchell, below the knee. Okay.
Don't mind that one. He did take out Marston's legs. That's a good call by the umpire. Again, got to find a target going forward. Marks inside forward 50. Been so hard to come by.
Shuey's so good normally at breaking the line, but Hodge held him up. Back to Ellis, and then Ellis with a high ball.
Just inside the 50, Yo creates his own space, couldn't take the mark. Smith over the top, crashed to ground. He's going to get a free kick taken high. Number 17 there is a man they desperately need, the Eagles, Josh Kennedy, a Goldman medalist, goalless this afternoon. Smith, dangerous kick, just in, Stratton. Saw the replay. Still tough, and the Eagles are coming, at least for the moment. Wellingham knocks it down. Gaff goes with a right boot, and the mark is taken there by Smith.
Been great today, Isaac Smith.
He's been good above his head, Lee. Taking some really strong courageous marks.
Such an important player to the wing. Showmakers was up. At the back, Shepherd goes hard. Brilliantly done. Puopolo went down. They battle for the footy. Head down, Burgoyne. Went looking for Puopolo. Rolls across to Priddis. Hurriedly on the boot. Smith again. Moments ago had it across half back.
To Mitchell. Back to Smith.
Oh,
Gee, this is big for the Eagles. Shuey breaks the line. Well, he had so many chances, Shuey, to do something good.
And he had two players running with him. That's that composure to know that the three of those could have run that all the way into the goal line, Duck.
I tell you what he hasn't done today. Handball in the forward 50, Shuey, for the second time today. What
He just had too many choices.
Here's Gunston. So much good work. Unstuck. Hawthorn slightly shaky for the minute. Leading by 4 goals, but not flowing as they were. Lewis. Neat kick to Schoenmakers. And now Rioli lurking at the back here. If he can get it far enough. And he does it, and Ellis gets it over the line. Well,
Is this Luke Shuey option here? Had the support runners. They could have run that all the way then. Instead chose to kick and cut off by Taylor Duray. It was a chance that went begging.
That's basic stuff, that is. Two outside runners just draw the player.
Hearn straight up the middle then. Kennedy under it. Off hands. Duray. Too tall for Mitchell. Oh, well played, Sinclair. Slapped it across to Lacroix. Sheed finds himself in space. Dropping back. Darling. Spilt the mark. Darling. Then he fumbled it away. Stratton didn't need more than one chance. Gave it to Duray. The short one comes across to Lake. And the danger is past. Lake held the play on. Was it touched on the mark? No, it wasn't.
There's two certain goals gone begging now.
Yep.
Shuey and now Darling. How did he drop that? That's hit him on the chin.
Might have been the son.
So Hutchings. Lake and Birchall. Good mark, Lake. I reckon the most interesting thing is the way Hawthorn are playing. I mean, they're actually struggling at the moment.
Right, Bruce, they look like they've lost their energy from the first half.
They get a chance here, Tim. Puopolo. Good kick to Rioli. Oh, brilliant. And then Rioli, quick as a flash. Shepherd against the tide. Did pretty well. Hill goes to the pocket. Gunston over the top. Schoenmakers gets the goal. Gets the important goal for them.
Well, that's the difference between the two teams right there. One makes the most of their half chances. The other one makes a couple of big mistakes. And that's the difference between the two teams right there. One makes the most of their half chances. The other makes two big errors inside 50.
Shepherd was brave, but outnumbered. We're back in the middle. Naitanui with a run. Fist on it, but didn't knock it very far. Shuey runs under it, though. A hand pass down towards half forward. Hutchings got an unkind bounce. Shuey came again. Couldn't find a way through. Ball jarred loose. Hodge gives it across to Gibson. And Gibson was measured to Burgoyne. He's the defensive side of right centre wing. Goes down the line. Brewster's been quiet. Tried to gather the bouncing ball, didn't quite. Finds it on the deck. Hand passes in hope. Plenty of Eagles wide. Puopolo could have been taken high. Sliding in McGovern, picked up by Wellingham. And he's escorted across the boundary. A throw in. 64, plays 33.
And for all that West Coast domination during the first part of this third quarter, they have made no inroads into that score. Hawthorn have held strong. West Coast have wasted chances. But that's what they do. They're just a quality, ruthless team. They find a way to stay involved, to score, even against the tide. And West Coast, they can't just keep giving chances back to Hawthorn. They're too far back to do that.
10-4 this week, 15-4 in the prelim final. So Gaff off that step, gets it to centre wing. Kennedy being quiet. Frawley having a bit of a day like Lake did 2 years ago, isn't he? When he won the Norm Smith against the Dockers. Not suggesting he's in front today. Rioli might be hard to beat there. Sheed. That's if they win, of course. Here, rather Shuey. Gaff. Ellis. Arcs the back. Can he find a target? Not quite. Sinclair had butted up. Birchall protecting the ball cleverly. Hill. Darling. Hutchings has had a quiet day. That'll help. They're coming a bit, I reckon. Just in general play, they're on top.
Definitely on top in general play. They have to translate that to goals and a few more of them, but they do have the momentum at the moment.
Really, when you look at that score, the next goal is everything.
I mean, it's huge.
It is absolutely everything in this game. If they get it, it is game on completely.
Just able to win contests in their forward 50. Well finished by Hutchings. That's what they have to do. You spoke about those half chances before, Doug. Every single one of them needs to be nailed if they're to be any chance of pegging this back.
Naitanui leaping high, knocked it down off the line. Birchall charges through midfield, goes short towards half-forward. Schoenmakers wrapped up by McGovern, slung to the ground. Ball is wedged under the pair, and we'll get a ball up.
All of a sudden, the Hawks just missing a couple of targets. Birchall misses that one.
The Eagles have been brave. Naitanui again taps it down. Spills wide. Schoenmakers quick hands. Rough head in the grasp. Taken down. Incorrect disposal. So Hill wins a free kick. He's quick, and he must do that. Apply some pressure. He's got the ball at right half back. Looks towards the outer side. Supporters of both clubs can sense momentum changing. Yo is up in front. Offhands Darling at close quarters, trying to go to Sinclair. Guess who? Hodge, a cool head. Burgoyne back to his skipper. Hodge goes with the right peg up towards the wing. Roughhead missed the ball. Falling to the ground. Good hand pass. Too slick though for the big fella. McAvoy lost it. Gaff goes in and clocked it up. Shields into clear air. Kicks it down towards the 50. Up goes Rioli. Fingertips to it. Couldn't hang on. It's 2-on-1. Rioli soldiers on. It came across to Wellingham from Schofield, and this one runs out.
Oh, they're winning some 50-50 balls now, West Coast.
What about Rioli's presence? So even there, I mean, he put a shiver up Schofield's spine, didn't he? Real heat in the game here for the first time in a while. LeCras banging forward. Kennedy. Gee, Frawley having a day. Belting it back forward, and Gunston's taken the mark, unopposed in the end. Read it best.
Wellingham needed to be better then in that contest, but well done by James Frawley. Wellingham had to go back and help out. Needed his teammates talking to him. Couldn't let Jack Gunston just come in that and take an uncontested mark. But James Frawley, he is doing everything right against Josh Kennedy.
So much doubt about Gunston whether he'd play or not. He kicked 4 against the Dockers. He's a dead-eyed Dick. He gets his 3rd in the grand final. Well, Josh Kennedy has had such a remarkable year. He just had to be better in the one-on-one.
Oh, he just lost the side of the ball, didn't he, in the contest. Frawley recovered better. Just had a knack in the last 10 minutes, Hawthorn, when they've gone forward to kick goals, all the play with West Coast.
So it's back to the half-time margin, 31 points. Fine acquisition. Gunston does so much. Helps out in defence quite often. Naitanui improvising, kicks it down towards the 50. Frawley goes back with confidence now. Giray got it from Gibson. Burgoyne goes across the ground, and Hill bearing down his Cripps. Hill almost into his move. Cost across the line, discarded, and the ball spills into the fence. Now or never for the West Coast Eagles. Haven't taken their chances in this term. Shuey elected not to hand pass at one stage. Darling dropped a mark. A vital time in the game. Hawthorn the better side for most of the day. Lewis was in there after the footy. Hale is tied up by Sinclair. Ball up.
Priddis working hard, doesn't really get an effective kick away. Good hands from Bruce. And then Mitchell's kick to half forward. Belted it from behind was Wellingham. Cut off by Rioli to Bruce. And then Bruce gets it out wide to Puopolo. Gunston again, the danger. It's a brilliant kick. So Rioli and Puopolo, and then Gunston's gut running.
What about Cyril Rioli's intercept? Quick hands to Luke Bruce. Puopolo with the run, as you said. And this kick is absolute perfection to Jack Gunston. And he's a big-time finals player, Jack Gunston.
That piece of play there, the complete opposite to what Shuey did. That's exactly what he had to do, draw the player. Bruce able to do that. Pick the right options. That's why they've been the best team for so long.
29 goals, 8 as a team in the final series this year from set shots. He's kicked 4 for the second time in a grand final. There's a long way to go, but that moment of genius from that man there may have been the pivotal moment. It's a brilliant kick by Puopolo as well.
We talk about why Hawthorn is so good in big moments. That kick there is extremely difficult. It had to be perfect to Jack Gunston between two West Coast defenders. They just execute every single time they get half a chance.
Shuey to Butler. Nat Nui was good moments before. Marston confronted. Gets this kick off, but he'll direct it. Hodge on the end of it. A legitimate contender for another Norm Smith. Very short to Mitchell. Now he goes across the ground. Birchall, so important to them. Roughhead, and the strut is back now. Hawthorn feel in control. This is Hale around the corner. Lewis running hard. Butler comes to him. They met in midair. Butler did well. Thumped it out of bounds. That hurt Lewis with a boundary throw in. And they can sense it slipping away now in that sort of afternoon.
Two of their key defenders there, Brown and McKenzie, who went down.
And when they went down, I think we all said the West Coast were no chance to be here on this day.
Holding Sam Mitchell.
So they've done well, but Sam Mitchell free kick now.
Eagles are about to make the sub, guys. Rose is up and moving.
So that was against Hutchings, that free. Mitchell up to 24 now. Only Andrew McLeod in the last 60 years has had 30 disposals in 2 grand finals. Mitchell with a chance to join him today. Wide he goes. To Ruffy. Been terrific, Ruffy, without hitting the scoreboard. And Ruffy pops it up. Schoenmaker's big fly. Smith in the pocket. Clever. Oh, better than clever. Brilliant. He's kicked 2 sensational goals today. But you know what? The last 10 minutes sums up this footy club. Yeah. How they've responded just is a great illustration of why they are the best.
Well, they were challenged in this quarter, last 5 minutes. That's just a brilliant goal. Summed it up beautifully.
A little bit of Will Langford in last year's grand final about that one.
How about that? That's acceptance. An Eagles supporter gave him a high five. That's like taking a knee, tapping out. Mitchell on one knee. Keeps it alive, at least initially, for Hawthorn. But after it, goes Shuey, dragged down, had it a while, but he's penalised.
Every part of the game they've done well. Tackled well, pressured well, certainly kicked well and won the ball well. 3 goals from their last 3 inside 50s, Hawthorn. So as you said, Duck, they had the momentum against them a little bit, but they responded with just clinical execution.
Burgoyne got it from Shields. Sinclair was the man subbed out. So Rosa into the game. They've gone for legs now. They're a long way off the pace again. Hawthorn seemed under pressure just 5 minutes ago. Have made their move decisively.
So accurate again today. 13 goals for. Hodge, Hearn, just blazed and kicked it straight to Mitchell.
I think that's their great ability, Hawthorn. When they are challenged within games, they're still able to get that goal. They're still able to keep that scoreboard clicking over.
So Lake has justified his selection. That hung a long time. It was so important that Hill didn't go to ground there, but he did. And Frawley gets it back to Shields. Geray tries to turn his man, and he does successfully. Sean Makers has been very good. Clever move, good kick. Gunston again. 5 goals in a grand final is rare air these days. Nobody in the 2000s has kicked more than 5. Now he's sitting on 4.
There's the goals they're kicking today. Hodge and a couple of others.
Put this down as a certainty, Duck.
Right.
It's a post.
He had a good go at it, but it's probably been the big indicator of the day for me, the kicking efficiency between the two teams. Hawthorn going at 72% at the moment, West Coast at 55%. So West Coast missed their targets, missed their opportunities. Hawthorn, they have nailed every single one of them.
Sign of a good side. That weakness they take advantage of. Roughhead comes to the football. Rosa, the sub. Butler hooks one up towards the wing. How will it bounce? Towards the boundary line and goes out. Jack Gunston injured in the final quarter of the qualifying final, and then in a race against time, and look at him this afternoon.
Bit of history coming up. The last sub ever will be Matt Suckling, about to come onto the ground.
Now Nui laid it down. Priddis, Lacroix to Priddis, to Cripps. McAvoy did well, the big fella, the big boy. Gets it to Gunston, doing it all. To Lewis. Back he goes. To Lake. To Frawley. How well have they cherry-picked in the last few years when you look at those names?
As Richo said, bit of history there. Matty Suckling just jogging onto the ground. The last sub we'll see. Thank goodness for that.
Sean Makers.
Hail, Lingy. That's it, he's off.
So Stratton on, and have a look at this down the ground. Puopolo. Now he'll try and turn Yo. He's got Suckling, he's just come on, and he couldn't keep it in. And Suckling sucking them in now after running hard from the substitutes bench.
Margin 44 points. Approaching three-quarter time in the grand final. Nat Nui surrenders front spot, still got a hand to it. Mitchell slapped it wider. Mitchell goes again, trying to crash his way through. That was brilliant. Into the path of Smith, keeping it alive. Shields. There'll be a ball up as Puopolo tackles Gaff. Only about 15 metres out directly in front of Hawthorn's attacking goal. It's been a surge of powerful proportions as far as the Hawks are concerned. Nat Nui knocks it down. McAvoy threw a boot at it. So did Shuey. He was more successful. Sends it outside the defensive 50. Now, with time to assess, Birchall comes back to Gibson. And Gibson is about 60 metres out from goal, not on the mark 55. Just sets it up down towards full forward. In from the side, Gunston. He's feeling it now. No way through for Ellis. X marks the spot as he crashes to the turf.
Thank you.
So Nat Nui has to do all the ruck work now. Sinclair. And the subbed off. Mitchell finding a way. Suckling in a beautiful spot. Gets the goal. Comes on the ground. Well, the maestro Mitchell, eh?
Sam Mitchell doing what Sam Mitchell does, just creating for his teammates. In congestion, great handball, out to the sub, Matty Suckling, and he loved it. But Sammy Mitchell's had a big game, 27 disposals before three-quarter time. That is massive.
Mitchell, the 08 Premiership skipper. Prentice digs it out of there. Well done by Cripps. Hutchings inside the forward 50. McGovern up in front. Chance here for Kennedy, but Lake does very nicely. Frawley swings it wide now. Hill short to Suckling. It's interesting, I mentioned Mitchell, the 08 Premiership captain. At that stage, they spoke of Hodge as the spiritual leader. Well, they had a job swap. Ball is on the wing. Hearn, not a particularly good kick. And Lake has stood up remarkably well.
That's mark number 9 now, Dennis. That's what he does so well. He defends well, but
the kick or not?
he takes
pretty well too.
Take the kick. Just hang on.
Takes up a little bit of time off the clock.
Not a very good bedside manner, though, by the ump.
He talked about the fact he wants to play on next year, and there's a lot of conjecture whether it'll be at Hawthorn or not. He might have got himself a contract today for somebody. Great mark. Gee, showing makers, eh?
Feel happy for him. He's done it the hard way. Knee Rico. Losing one, missed out on one.
Well, Frawley and Schoenmakers I'll go to at the end of this match, won't they, in a big way. Yo. Butler, good tackle. Hill. He's been quietish after an early goal. Looked like he'd hurt himself, Hill. But back on that ground in a hurry.
Billy Hartung, he'd be so happy for his teammates, for his footy club, but you couldn't blame him for just really wanting to be out there himself. I'm sure he will have a wonderful career beyond today.
As Sam Mitchell says, he'll get his lick of the ice cream. That's what they say at Hawthorn. His tomb probably will come.
Oh,
well done.
oh.
Summed up that quarter. The courage there from Hodge. Well, have we seen a more graphic display of a great team? Challenged, and then the response. Hawthorn surely on their way to a three-peat.
Is probably getting ready. Still a quarter to go. Good bounce. Natanui knocks it down. Rioli, Mitchell, another possession. 29 drives it inside the forward 50. Helped on its way by Gunston. Leading the race down there is Roughhead, and the ball goes out of bounds. Duck, what about the Norm Smith? A quarter out.
Oh, there's a couple of Sam Mitchell, certainly. And I've loved the game of James Frawley. Under all sorts of pressure 3 weeks ago. He's been great the last couple of weeks. He's been big on Kennedy.
How would that look? Brian Lake in 2013 and Frawley today. That's recruiting. Prentice, Wellingham, Shuey, and now Rosa.
With a high ball. Up to almost centre wing. Hill. Going backwards. And not that successfully in the end. Free kick.
Take West Coast.
To Cripps.
Jamie, yeah, back around the mark, please, thanks. Play on.
Quiet afternoon, but he hasn't been alone. Rose are trying to make an impact. Good kick to Lacroix. Missed the set shot in the third quarter, Lacroix, when West Coast were making a move. These days define your career a bit. Lacroix hasn't been able to really hit it, has he, today?
No, there's a few blokes in that boat. Sadly, all the emphasis, magnifying glasses all go onto this day, and if you don't stand up, it's a long, hot summer and a big winter footy season next year before you get another chance to redeem yourself.
Kicks right on 50 and can't nail it. So a couple of behinds from set shots. By the way, Mitchell's disposal a moment ago, he's had 100 disposals now against West Coast in the 3 games he's played so far this year.
They're going to bring it in. Disappointing with their set shots today, the West Coast Eagles. Burgoyne takes them on to Giray. In a rich vein of form, sends it up towards the wing, and that's stuck. Gunston. The longer it's gone, the better he's been. Mitchell has been there since the outset. Getting in behind them again is Rioli. It was the story early. High ball towards full forward. Let it go. Well, he marked it. No sense of occasion, Ruffy.
I think Cyril was just standing back there. Come on, Ruff.
He doesn't mean that smart.
He was passing it though, Cyril. Certainly wasn't having a shot. He was doing the right thing to give it to Ruffy, but...
Yes, but fate intervened. Now, Roughhead, a young man who had his problems midway through the season. The comeback is complete. Well done.
Well, they turned last year's grand final into a rout, didn't they, against the Swans? 63 points on that occasion.
Right, thanks, guys. Thanks.
This will be a fun time now for a lot of those Hawthorn players.
Could they? No, absolutely, Lingy.
I reckon another 5-8 minutes and the lead stays the same or grows. They'll start relaxing and really enjoying this one.
So Mitchell gets his 30 disposals. Hodge on the end of it. Piercing pass out wide to Hill. He's got Ruffy again. And then Ruffy, does he check side it? No, he goes, well, it looked 15, not paid. And then Gaff wraps up Gunston. Ball not out. Suckling doesn't get a kick away. Ball still not out. Marston, Hearn, great smother Ruffy. Marston, Bruce, free kick. Oh, he was high. And Smith kicks the goal. It's a goal to Smith. He's got his third. It was messy in there, to be honest.
He's been huge, Smith. Started the game really well, but his influence on the game, he's run and carry and 3 goals from the wing. Oh, that's massive.
He's actually had a very good goal-scoring final series. I know he started slowly in Perth, but he's had 1, 2, 1, and now 3 in the finals off centre wing. That's big stuff.
Well, it was a bit of a mess in there. A free kick was paid to Luke Bruce right there for that high one. Cyril again with the handball out to Isaac Smith, and well, what a game he has had. He's had a big final series since that qualifying final where he wasn't at his best.
Lewis
3 goals.
Slings it over the shoulder. Hodge broadens things. Birchall goes down towards half forward. Roughhead had to wait, knocked away by Wellingham, close to the boundary. Dismissive by Roughhead. Brilliant. Over the top, Bruce. 70 metres out. On the move down there, Hill lost it completely. Schofield, Gaff, Marston, Wellingham and Gaff. Marston once more from half back. Kennedy, that's a rare sighting today after a wonderful season. Goes down towards half forward. McGovern is the target. He used a lot of strength there, held his position. And now Hill running goalward. No, I wouldn't. Oh dear, what a terrible compromise.
Brian Lake, love that. The coach would love that, playing the game right to the very end. Ex-teammates at the Bulldogs too. Oh, great play, Brian.
He read that so well, didn't he? Clarko loved it. No, don't often see him smile in the coach's box.
I think Brian has made him smile before today.
It's made him pretty angry at times. Not on grand final though.
Yes. A couple of ex-Bulldogs together, and not quite the Heath Shaw smother for Brian Lake, but it was pretty good, wasn't it?
That's fantastic.
You asked before, Bruce, whether or not they'd know. They're enjoying this now.
Okay.
This is the time where, one of the rare times on grand final day where you can run around and just soak it all in. The Hawthorn crowd is getting up and about. Just been a sensational effort. They can now run around on the home of football on the biggest day and just enjoy every single second of it, because they're about to have their hands on that cup.
So boundary throw in. Normally, it was interesting, Brian getting around there smiling, but normally I think he regards things like eye contact as acts of aggression. We've got a ball up. It's tied up just in front of our commentary position now. We've had a bird's eye view of a wonderful team. One of the great teams of all time. McGovern goes up, slaps it down. Shield slaps it away. Lewis to Mitchell, racking them up still. Knows no other way. Down towards half forward. Over the top, Rioli slaps it towards the boundary. Shepherd, who's battled manfully, takes it across the line.
So McGovern to do the ruck work. Then Shields, lovely kick. And Burgoyne. 31st final. So only Michael Tuck's played more finals than this man. 6 grand finals to date. Won a premiership with Port Adelaide in 2004.
That's 15 seconds.
He was on the end of a shellacking, wasn't he, in 07 by Geelong, the greatest winning margin, 119 points in the history of the game. Doesn't get it, really. And that's a bit of a problem in the behind. He's played very well, Burgoyne.
No pressure on him. Normally goes back and kicks those.
Hearn to bring it in. Straight up the middle. Lake, who's been the master in this battle, almost the mark against Kennedy. Spills to Priddis. Can go over the top. Kennedy clear of Lake for just about the first time. Cripps gets on the end of it. He's directly in front. About 30 metres out. Spent some time with St Kilda. His brother, an emerging star in the competition. A chance to kick what will be the 6th goal for the West Coast Eagles if he gets it. Kick is on the way. Goes violently left to right and through for a minor score. Just brushing the post on the way through, but should have done better.
It's been a story of the day, hasn't it? Taking your chances. The gap's just so massive anyway. Hawthorn have been magnificent. Completely outplayed them in the end. Smith to Roughhead. Great hard running from Smith. And then Roughhead to Hodge. Tell another great final, Hodge. Not sure if it'll get him another Norm Smith, but he'll be in the finalists. And then Suckling with a dart to full forward. Yo at the back. Wellingham to Butler. Very short to Gaff. Been manful, Gaff. High 20s now for him. Back to Wellingham. 4th grand final, 3 with the Pies. Of course, the draw. Shuey ripped away. Schoenmakers. Schoenmakers, good kick in the end. And Poppy with a chance. No, he's going to kick it wide and give Stratton, who doesn't kick a lot of goals.
Hasn't kicked one yet this year. Bruce, only one in his career.
117th game today, so 1 out of 117, eh?
That's nice of Poppy just to bring him into the game. As I said, it's an enjoyable time right now where everyone's getting involved, and I reckon the Hawthorn boys will get right around Ben Stratton if he kicks this one.
This is the most important kick of the day.
They're lining up now, Lingy.
Can Stratton do it? Pressure's actually on him. They're 10 goals in front.
They've got to get Gibbo down there, boys. Put him to full forward now. Gibbo hasn't kicked a goal for Hawthorn.
Exactly right.
My informant tells me Ben chooses the music down in the rooms before a game for Hawthorn. The informant was Jack Gunston, who didn't really think much of the music, just put his teammate away. There's Butler. Drives it outside the 50 from behind Hill. Roughhead took a swipe at it. Shuey arrives and knocks it out of bounds. Well, the music will be up-tempo tonight for these Hawks. Carving their way, and their coach's way too, into the record books. Some great names and a great team. Matt Nui His progress stopped by Hodge. Schoenmakers, Shields, lines up and just misses.
Well, Wayne, you were involved in 7 consecutive prelim finals and a couple of flags. Lingy, you were part of an incredible Geelong period. 4 grand finals in 5 years and the 3 flags. But just maybe to get this into perspective, what this team has been able to achieve over the last 3-4 years.
Absolutely special, Bruce. Just brilliant effort by this Hawthorn team.
So,
well, to think that they haven't always been the favourite in the grand final. They were the underdog last year. They got up and absolutely smashed Sydney. They go in as the favourite today. A lot of people, I'm included, thought West Coast would make a better account of themselves. They are just the best team in the comp. They do not rely on any one player.
And the system,
that's why they're the best.
And the system, Duck, is set up for them to not be able to do this. The draft, the salary cap, all of that is set up for a team not to be able to win 3 in a row, not to be able to win 4 in 8 years. But they've done it. They've recruited really smartly. Brian Lake, James Frawley in, developed some quality players. They've got stars like this bloke here, Jared Ruffhead, right across the ground. Just a totally dominant display.
Bit of showtime now, Lingy.
Yep.
Are they the best side of all time?
Well, given the 18-team competition and the system that's in place now, yes, is my answer. Better than any team in the past.
Gee, that's a big call. So Bruce down that wing.
Schoenmakers has played very well, earned his spot. McAvoy and Gunston. Now he's kicked 4, Gunston. What a comeback it's been. As I mentioned earlier, went down in the 4th term at Domain Stadium. It looked a serious injury. He was hobbled for a week and a half, but came storming back into contention. And has carried that form through on the track to this afternoon. He's a fine player. Originally drafted by the Crows. Steps inside the 50. Kick is on the way. What a fine kick. It's out of bounds on the full. Hit the behind post.
Only 4 players have kicked 5 goals in a final this century, so he's on the brink, isn't he?
And let's not forget what they've done this final series too. They went to Perth, lost to West Coast, had to come back and play the extra game, had to go back to Perth and beat Fremantle, the top team, the minor premiers of the competition. It has just been an unbelievable effort now. 4 finals and they've won the last of them, the grand final.
And Lingy, the off-field stuff. I mean, they lose a coach in Bolton. Brett Ratton tragically loses his son. Ruffy has a cancer scare. There are a whole lot of issues they've had to deal with. Off the field as well as they stream forward again. Gunston couldn't quite. Shields, so workmanlike. Gaff getting close to 30. Rosa run down brilliantly by Bruce. Hutchings gets it out. Gaff getting to that 30 stage. Cripps back to Hutchings. Oh, he went without it, Shepherd. Hutchings can't quite. Schoenmakers holds him up. Gibson's holds him up. And that is just indicative of what's happened today.
Sums it up perfectly. We marvel at their skill and their ball use and their goal kicking. But that is part of their game they do so well. Their pressure, their contested footy. Just great play again. Well done.
Shuey smothered by McAvoy. Shepherd back to Shuey. Rosa. And now Butler. They've sent a wing. It's a long kick inside the forward 50. Darling was up, couldn't hang on. Gaff off balance. Mitchell. That's a jewel off the ground by Hodge. How about that? Mitchell tackled by Prittis and standing a metre away Hodge. That's not a place to get an easy kick. Prittis gets it across towards Rosa. His kick's offline and it goes through for a minor score.
Hasn't had a shot on goal today, Kennedy, which is quite remarkable. Ben Stratton's had more shots on goal than Josh Kennedy today. I mean, you just couldn't believe it, could you? Rioli. Did he do enough to get the Norm Smith Rioli in the first half?
Oh, he was the most influential player in that first half. I thought he was enormous.
And that's where the game was won. It was set up in that first half. Gee, Sam Mitchell's got a big claim to it, though.
Oh, there's a couple of names there, Lingy. Smith comes to mind.
Yep.
Rioli, Frawley, Mitchell, Hodge.
Even Jared Ruffhead as well. He hasn't hit the scoreboard as much as you'd think he normally would with this sort of margin. He's kicked the 1 goal, but he's actually been brilliant as a ground level player. He's had the 25 disposals, 8 score involvements, so can be like the old under-10s, Bruce, just a team effort for the Norm Smith.
All played well, eh? So Marston got it from Wellingham. Kick cut off. Giray had to wait 4 years, Giray, before he got a game, eh? Taken a 69 in the draft. And what about this guy? For the D's, and now going to play in a premiership in his first year. Suckling. They share it around. Back to the hard-running Smith. Improvising. Mitchell down low. Prittis and Mitchell side by side on Brownlow night again tonight. Back to Hodge. Hodge, who kicked the most amazing goal in the second quarter, kicks to full forward. And it's a behind.
You've got to wait for the signal, Matt.
Interesting to see what Lee Matthews thinks about all this at the end. I mean, he was part of that great era, not the back end of the 80s, but those 70s and early 80s, but just where this team now sits in the folklore of the club.
Gibson goes back and marks the Wellingham kick. So Alistair Clarkson chasing a fourth premiership. Will move past revered names like John Kennedy Sr. and Alan Jeans at Hawthorn. Quite remarkable. What a powerhouse they've become. Here's Suckling. Stratton. 105 plays 43. Drives a high ball down towards half forward. Rioli from behind. Oh, clever by Mitchell. Give him a medal. There's Lewis deftly. Rioli again, putting on something of a clinic. Goes after a hard ball, stolen away by Sheed. Over Nat Nui's head, and Frawley takes the mark, squares it. Giray, his form has been terrific in the last 2 weeks.
Releases to Lake, and then Lake with a long bomb to the pocket. Bruce outnumbered. Shepherd goes to the line, and a boundary throw in.
Frawley now up to 22 disposals. Kennedy not having a shot at goal, Liggy. There's got to be some sort of chance.
It's got to be a huge chance, absolutely.
So they're the three-peaters in the history of the game. VFL stroke AFL.
No coincidence, the Hawks in Brisbane, their leadership, Michael Voss and Luke Hodge.
Yep.
I think just going back to that graph, Melbourne lost in 58, then came back and won another 2, so it's 5 out of 6.
They were quite amazing, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then came back in the early 60s, of course. Ray Gabelic's long run. But this team putting themselves up there, eh? Butler's quick kick out. Darling, Marston, Hutchings, Sheed. And they've achieved so much this year, West Coast, to get to here, but it's been a sobering afternoon. Missing the target, Darling, Marston. They've just been so untidy. And then Prittis finds the mark. Now, Hearn's got the distance here if he wants it. He decides to give Kennedy a shot on goal. So, remarkably, this will be the first shot on goal for the Coleman medalist. 80 goals this season.
Had a wonderful year. Hasn't had a great day today. He hasn't been helped by the delivery, but Frawley's done a great job. Just back to Luke Hodge. This may be his best grand final ever that he's played, and he might miss out on the Norm Smith.
It's a reasonable point. Does Kennedy get it? I don't think it's got the distance, and there's no one there.
Now, that would please James Frawley a lot there, because he's got the game won, he's happy, but he would not want to concede a goal to Josh Kennedy. He'd love to walk off the ground, keeping the Coleman medalist goalless and being a premiership player. Just a little individual win there.
Gee, Walker, Pavlich and Kennedy in consecutive weeks for Chip.
Great response after that qualifying final. Shows his character.
Gunston, a high ball up towards the wing. Rioli. Well, it's all about him now. He's thinking to himself, I've played with the constraints of the team long enough. I'm just going to fly for everything. And the crowd want that. There's Burgoyne. Sends it back inside the defensive 50 and Lake. Short. Burgoyne. Up towards the wing. Giray. He's marked just outside the defensive 50.
So, almost there, right?
I know this is a little bit of junk time as far as marks now, but we talk so often about being able to stop Hawthorn marking the ball, going a long way to beating them. They have had nearly 100 more marks than West Coast in this game. That's how much they've dominated.
Hearn to full forward. Kennedy, good grab. Quickly to Lacroix, and they get a goal at long last. So last year it was 63. This year it's hovering, that one closing it inside the 10-goal margin, meaning nothing. Well, this is the biggest crowd West Coast has ever played in front of them. So never before in those other grand finals have they had that number. Not that that means anything to them at this point.
Margin 56 points then. The players have had a good day today. That was a good bounce too. Nat Nui knocks it down. Roughhead cleverly, like a basketballer, controlling that one to Gibson. Gibson takes something off the kick, Schoenmakers. Looks inside the forward 50. Declines any invitations, comes to Hodge, his 30th possession, and Rioli was on the scamper while all that was taking place. Got free, and will go back to line up a goal from about 40 metres out. Cyril Rioli has booted too. They both came in the opening term. He was dynamite. Paying homage, the crowd, to the man and the team.
How good is that?
I wouldn't know. Here's Cyril. Kick is on the way, and this one is just bending away from goal. One-man show at the moment.
He's threatened to do this in a grand final, Rioli. He's had good grand finals. His first year is Adam Simpson, your old teammate, Daku. Done a fabulous job in his second season to get here.
Yes.
Cut off by Mitchell. Doesn't kick many goals. He probably hasn't got the distance here. He'll give it off for sure.
Well, the boys know it too. They're all just asking for that short one.
Sean Burgoyne just wandering over to him, having a chat. A little bit of a laugh there for Sam Mitchell. Look for the late little pass here, maybe.
Well, he's going to give it all he's got from the left. Has it got? Well, it's got the trip in the end, and it's a behind. And what about Alistair Clarkson? The only other two men since World War II to win 3 consecutive flags as coaches have both got statues at this ground. Norm Smith and Lee Matthews, and have both got very important awards named after them. That's where Clarko is in the last 50 years, so have a look at that.
Kennedy, after the footy then, got it eventually, scrambles it down towards half forward. Cripps, Gaff, slung, got the hand pass away to Rosa. Rosa kicks inside the forward 50. Gibson from behind, almost the mark to Darling. Lacroix. McGovern goes into an open goal.
So we talked about the 3 consecutive. These are the 4-time premiership coaches in the last 50 years. So Jeans, Hafey, Barassi, Parkin, Sheedy, Matthews, Clarkson.
Pretty good
best
company.
Of the best.
That is very, very good company for Alistair Clarkson.
Pettis to Hutchings, low down, controlled it pretty well. Hearn, Shuey, Marston. Beats a would-be tackler, comes away, kicks it down towards half forward, too tall for McGovern, misjudged it on his approach there. Lake goes back, finds it, just lobs it in the direction of Bruce. Steps around Wellingham, Burgoyne has it now, he's at left half back, nothing much to kick to. Along the line, Lake again, high ball to the wing, Kuopolo, not to be outdone by Rioli, well he has been because he didn't mark it. Off the ground, Schoenmakers, into the lap of Shepherd. Now Gaff can take it and go. Knew where the help was, back over the shoulder. Well, he paid the mark, so it must have been a kick, was it? I think it was a hand pass. Never mind. Shepherd drives inside the forward 50. Lacroix at the back. Good paid to Giray. Giray on his back. Gave a hand pass out looking for Lake. Chopped off there by Rosa. Now McGovern. Can he kick another goal? Yes, he will. Bit of a flourish.
Great scenes here.
Yeah, just counting down the seconds until they can celebrate. And a well-deserved victory, a well-deserved feeling of pure exhilaration for those players. Great game by the Hawks.
So the Eagles kicked the first goal today. They kicked the last three. It's just a 16 out of 20 in the middle. But Hawthorn piled on.
Too long here, West Coast, holding the man. Initial tackle was fine, just took him to the ground. Stay out, please.
So the last moments. Gaff and Prittis. So Hawthorn have done it. The first team in the 18-team competition to go back to back to back. They're three-peaters. They are remarkable.